F1 Miami, we have something very, very special for you. Ladies and gentlemen, please help us welcome to the podcast stage the host of the world-famous Pivot Podcast. Please, a nice round of applause for Ryan Clark, Fred Taylor, and a good friend of ours, Mr. Channing Crowder. Make some noise. Let's go.
Hey, Chan. Hey, first off, we gotta take dude everywhere we go.
Yeah.
That's my man right there.
We gotta take him if they're gonna call us world famous, we gotta take him everywhere we go.
A little home cooking, man. You know, we're right here in Dolphin Stadium. Channing, you know, he's used to being home.
Yes, I used to run around out there a little bit, y'all. I used to get lucky every now and again out there, but man, since 2022 when they started this Miami Grand Prix, big shout out to Stephen Ross for what he's doing. This is amazing. I'm waking up at 4 a.m. watching Barcelona and Monaco and all this stuff, watching these races, man. This F1 is amazing, and we love it, and Miami is about to be a staple in this sport.
Well, first of all, guys, like he said, I'm Ryan Clark. This is Fred Taylor. This is Channing Crowder. Welcome to the Pivot Podcast. Thank you for pivoting with us. I also want to say this, looking out at all of you, F1 is the most beautiful sport in the world, right? The diversity of the fans, the love the fans show, also just the pure attractiveness of everyone that is sitting out here. We are very grateful for all of you. I do have a question.
It's some bad ones out there.
Stop.
Man and women. Look at my man in the white shirt right there. Man, that's a good-looking man right there.
Look, but
I can be open with it.
let's be honest. It's not everywhere you go F1, though. Like, this is just the Miami vibes. This is the perfect place for a race like this. Because when you go to Vegas, it's really nice, but you can't walk around and enjoy the scenery and the weather. So Miami is absolutely phenomenal for an event like this.
So I got a question, Channing. The Miami F1 Formula One Grand Prix,
yes,
or a big-time Sunday Miami Dolphin game?
Why are you going to do this to me? Because now the Dolphin fans going to be hot with me. And, you know, the F1 people, this is a different crew that comes to F1. Miami Dolphins, I love it. I go to every game. I have missed a Canes game. I have missed a Dolphins game in years. But this F1, how they do it and how it expands and how they have the track and how they have the different venues around and just the activation of F1 is different. It's days and days of people that love this sport. You think about it, a football game, like I bring up the Canes and the Dolphins, it's 4 hours. This is a event from Thursday to Sunday, a full 4 days of people that love the sport, that are passionate about the sport, that come in from around the world for the sport. So I would have to say Dolphins. Where's Ann? I'm sorry, Ann. Don't yell at me. But I would
over
say,
here.
Okay, Ann's over there. Ann, I love the Dolphins. I come to every game, miss a game in 20 years. But F1, I don't want to say hierarchy, but I would say it's different. And it's beautiful to see what we could do in 5 years. That around the world, Monaco, Spa is in Belgium, and all these places have done that we could do in 5 years that is now a staple in F1. I love it.
So I have a question for you, Freddie T.
Yep.
If we were all F1 drivers, who would be the best?
Well, I was the fastest on the field, so naturally.
That ain't got nothing to do with the car.
But I think I drive better than you guys. Although, you do drive everywhere we go when we road trip.
Exactly.
I can give you credit for that, but you don't really drive fast.
I drive fast. I drive faster than him.
I know he would get last place.
But y'all are scary. Y'all are worried about the outcome of things. I don't give a damn what happens at the end of the day. So when I got to hit that curve going 190, I'm going to hit the curve. Y'all are concerned with what happens 10 minutes from now. I live minute to minute.
But Channing, you only drive a Cadillac, an Escalade. I've never seen you drive a car, ever.
I don't want no car. I got 3 kids.
See, so you're not going to hug the corners.
Baseball bags and all kind of stuff in the back of my truck. I can't drive no Mercedes.
So the final verdict is I would win. No. I drive every time we take a road trip. I'm responsible enough to look 10 minutes ahead because you can't just drive the race and say, oh, if I skid off to the side, it's okay, because now you don't get the points. You're going to be in last place.
But you don't get points either, right?
I'm going to be up there with Lando.
But the last time we went somewhere, didn't you get pulled over? You don't get points for getting pulled over.
That means I'm driving the requisite speed to win the race.
You got to have your eyes on the road at all times. You have to make sure that you're driving within the limits. or you get disqualified.
Listen,
Last time you were disqualified.
Man, listen, we just saw somebody get hit coming out of the pit stop.
Yeah.
Every now and then you have an accident. Sometimes you get a ticket, but the goal is to win, Freddie T, and I'm a freaking winner. Here's the thing. If not Miami, where else would you like to go to an F1 race?
That's a great question because since F1 started, it really they said Monaco is special. And we talked, I don't know if everybody saw Lando. We talked to Lando yesterday. The show came out last night. And I don't know if y'all saw us sit down and talk to Lando. And he was just saying about the historic places. So Barcelona, Monaco, I really want to go to the historic places to see that it's not about the hoopla and the attraction and all that Miami has, which I love, but I want to go see some historic tracks and where this sport started.
I don't want to go see none of that because I don't want to fly there. I'm not getting on no plane to go watch people drive around. I'm not doing it. I'm going to go to Vegas. I'm going to go to Austin. I'm going to go everywhere that is easy for me to get.
I tell you, Spain's food is so cheap. They'll give you 17 lobsters for $10. I was like, what's going on in Spain? Y'all have different lobsters than we have. But I really want to go to those historic tracks. I do.
All right, Freddie T, I'm going to switch it up for you, though.
Yeah.
I'm going to put a little pressure on you.
Okay.
Because we got Levante David coming up soon after we have Guenther Steiner coming up.
They said he's a cusser, and so now I'm allowed to cuss.
No, you can't cuss. Only he can cuss.
I can't cuss?
You got to keep it clean.
Goodness, great. Y'all have too many rules put on me, man.
Because we know what you are.
Channing.
I have a good time.
And there he is. How you doing, brother?
Hey, how's it going?
Nice to meet you, brother.
There you go, my man.
Step through here.
Everyone I know, y'all all know this legend. All you F1 guys, former principal of Haas Racing, and now just an absolute ambassador to Formula One, Guenther Steiner.
Thank you guys for having me. I mean, it's your legends, not me. I mean, for me, it's a big honor to be here
Can't
with
be
you
so
guys.
modest.
No, it's true. It's true. It's real. For me, when they said you have to go on with you, I can go on with you. Not I have to. I can go. I was like, I mean, these guys are too big for me.
No.
I mean, yeah.
No way.
Yeah, exactly.
So I have a question. How is it being the busiest unemployed guy in the world?
I would say it's pretty cool because, when you get unemployed, you say, how I get along, I get along pretty well, I mean, I got very busy very quick. It's pretty cool, so, no, I kept busy and, it's, fortunately I can joke about this, but it's, since I left the team, Haas F1, I keep on doing things which I like, and you guys know, I mean, as long as you can do what you like in life, it's a good life. So, that's what I'm living in the moment.
And G, your reputation precedes you. Because, like I said, I know you know how to cuss. And I'm the cusser on the show. But how much is the personality? Is it transitioning to where you have to be personable and be able to drive and both sides of it, the social media, the entertainment side of it? Because you're very entertaining, but you were also great at what you did.
Yeah, it's just different, when you get in this position. I did what I did, running a team. I mean, with racing cars, since I'm 20 years old, I started in 1986.
Yeah.
You were not even born then, by the way.
I was born. And Freddie T was like 25 by that point.
I was 10.
He was on your pit crew.
I get it all the time.
Yeah, you get it told. But
I don't
why
know
they
why I
pick
even
on you?
hang out with him.
Yeah, why do they
I'm the
pick
nice
on you?
one.
You're the good one. You're the good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it is just like before you do your job, and I was never trying to be what, in the end, I got to be. I just did my job. I've got my personality. I don't change. I will not change. I don't want to change, and people liked it. And then it's a transition you don't really realize, that there is something changing. It's just like all of a sudden a lot of more people recognize you, and is it a bad thing? No, So it's good, It was good at the time for the team. We attracted new sponsors and stuff like this to this, and because when you're a small team in Formula One, nobody looks at you. Nobody cares about you really, or very little. I wouldn't say nobody, but. We created some story. We created some stories, and people liked it, and it helped the team, and obviously it helped me. And again, I got unemployed, and I had immediately a new job. That's the good thing.
A lot of drivers often speak to themselves as their biggest rivalry, which speaks directly to pressure. as a former principal, speak to us about pressure, having to manage and oversee all of the operations for something as big and as global as Formula One.
The pressure you get as a team principal, to do the job as a team principal is not a job. You want to do it. And you know that pressure comes with it. And to get used to it, as I said, when I started the team, I did already motorsport 30 years. And over the years, you learn to be able to absorb more and more pressure. And that's how it goes. Obviously, sometimes the pressure comes to you, and then you need to be, I for example, I get my outburst. Once I'm outbursted, I'm good.
Ready to roll.
Yeah,
right.
exactly. Ready to roll again. Not being afraid to go back and, if I cussed at somebody, to go back and apologize for it. Yeah. I mean, you need to be man enough to do that.
Yeah.
And, I'm that.
Yeah.
I get, the pressure is high, you burst, and then you say, wow, I shouldn't have done this really, because it doesn't help anybody. You go back and apologize, and you keep going. And but the pressure comes, you get more resistant over time to pressure. I mean, it's... but sometimes it can get to you, but it's just one of the things you have to deal with. But you need to enjoying it. Otherwise, do not be a team principal.
So in football, there's a short shelf life, right? They talk about the NFL meaning not for long. Fred played 13 years. I played 13 years. Channing played 6 or 7 years as well. But when it's over, it's over. For you, you can go from driving to being a team principal. It's been so much of your life. What was it like once you were no longer on the track?
It was fine, because for me, I came back to the track. The first race, I was not running a team anymore. I was back doing TV. So I never really left. People said, it's nice to have you back. I said, I never left, because I was here the last race last year. That was last year. Yeah. So I never left, and I feel like it must be the same for you in football. What you miss is the people, because you have been surrounded by these people for a long period of time. And if I don't go to a race outside of racing, I don't know a lot of people, and then I'm very happy to go back into it and just see the people. I do half the races a year, and I see the people, and for me it's like being there. I'm not running a team, but I'm okay with it, Yeah. I'm 60 years old now.
Yeah.
And G, one more quick one. I know you got something where to go, but for the Miami Grand Prix has been since 2022, Vegas and Austin, and the American side of F1 where it's been decades overseas and now coming here. Is there a difference with the F1 coming to America?
There is a positive difference. When Austin came back, as a race, everybody was happy, because Formula One is a global sport. The United States are the biggest economy in the world. We need to be here. It's a big country. We came back to Austin. Then Miami came on, and then afterwards Vegas. But in Miami, because we are here, we have to tell the story. I mean, Miami came in completely unexpected with this crazy idea to have a stadium, a racetrack around a stadium, and then they came in. The first year there were a few problems. The teams, normally people in F1 don't like new things. The teams complained. Second year we came back. What did Miami do? They fixed everything and made it even better. And that continued to go so. Every year it's getting better. And now, if you believe it or not, I don't know if you have been to races in other countries. This is a race which is actually puts the bar for the other ones very high. Because there's so much going on here, Obviously, Miami has got the advantage. They've got the Dolphins. They know how to do sports, entertainment, and they bring that to F1. And all the sport benefits in general, because all the other promoters now look at Miami and want to do something similar, because they know they need to do, because the demographics which are watching now Formula One want entertainment as well, not just a car race.
Yeah, well, listen, we know you have to go. Thank you so much for your time. You're an absolute legend. Enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Thank you very much, guys, for having me.
Yes, sir.
And
appreciate you,
all the
brother.
best
Yes,
later.
sir.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Got you. Yo. Y'all got to chase him. You know he fast. Get to him.
Hey, he a big old dude too now. Don't run up on him too fast. He might put them hands to you.
Well, Chan, he didn't cuss at all.
He didn't cuss at all.
So that means you don't get the cuss for the people.
Can I get one pass today?
I don't think so.
Why?
Okay.
You just want to curse the
I
curse?
like to cuss. People like cussing. My man in the blue shirt, green shirt. You like a good cuss word? Look at him. See,
hey,
you
my
see
look.
him nodding
Hey,
his head?
now he look like he like a cuss word.
Yeah, there we go.
My man right there,
That's 7 beers in. Yeah. Michelob Ultra.
You know what? You think about that though, and how when you have somebody like Guenther who has done his job for such a long time, done his job at such a high level, you wonder when is enough, and then what happens after that. It's the same in our sport, right? We talked about us playing and how long we play. We got a guy in Levante David that's about to step on the stage. He been playing 20 damn years. His first season was Fred's first season.
And he still look 22.
He still look young. Listen, all pro, Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champion, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Levante David.
What's up, legend?
What's up, brother?
What's up, baby? Good to see you.
What up, my dog? Looking young, looking young.
My man, you good? Hey, I'm going to tell y'all got on me about Jorts for about 3 years. I know y'all got to kill Levante.
He's a Miami boy. He's at home.
So he's allowed to wear jorts because he's Levante, but I can't wear jorts.
The shorts?
I'm going to be honest.
The jean shorts,
I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, these are nice.
When I initially looked at him, the first thing I did think was he has on jorts. I'm not going to lie.
I wanted to be equal on the stage.
But Channing, look at his knees and look at your knees.
His thighs a little thicker.
his knee says he can still go for another 5 years.
Yeah,
So what are you thinking, man? 3 more, 4 more? Just
Man,
go till the wheels fall off?
I ain't thinking that far yet. I'm gonna just take care of this year. I just signed back for my 14th season, and that's a lot of years. That's a lot of miles. You know what I'm saying? I never really thought about it until people start asking me questions and stuff like that. But right now, I'm just gonna ride it out until see how I feel at the end of the season.
Yeah, Levante obviously watched the film. You're still playing at an extremely high level. How have you been able to continue to elevate the parts of your game that you've needed to stay elite as you do get a little older and sometimes recovering, rejuvenation, healing from injuries a little more difficult?
Yeah, the thing is, man, it goes into my preparation, throughout the season, in the off season and stuff like that. I know a lot of guys like we do a lot of seeing how far you run and stuff like that, and everybody always come to me like, man, you always have the less yards ran in practice. I'm like, cause that's just I know where I'm going. I'm not trying to exhaust myself more and stuff like that. I'm just gonna do what I'm supposed to do and go from there. But it all goes from preparation, studying film and stuff like that, and knowing your defense and knowing where you're supposed to be and knowing where you're supposed to fit, and to make your job easier. And I think when people get to running all over the place and you run away over here, you ain't gonna make the play over there. So why do it? You know what I'm saying? So I'm just been really consistent with just doing my job, and then throughout my job, if it allows me to make a play, I'm gonna make the play. But other than that, I'm gonna just do what I'm supposed to do, and free everybody up around me.
Love that.
And Tay, we just talked to Guenther about his progression in the sport, and his sport, and your progression in your sport, and there has to be some other motivation.
Yeah.
He's famous, he got money, you're famous, you got money. What are you chasing right now for you to go back and play another year and then say, I don't know what's going to happen after that year?
Yeah, man, I just always got an underdog mentality. You know what I'm saying? I never let it bother me early in my career. But now, as it's being brought up more, I feel like I'm one of the best to play it. Yeah. So it's just driving me to keep on and people telling me I'm playing at a high level, still at an old age, I'm going to keep on proving them right that I am. So this past season, it went really well for me. I played the whole season healthy, no injuries and nothing like that. So, why not give it another shot?
Bro, you had an unconventional route to stardom, right? You weren't the 5-star. You weren't the guy that got to go to the big college right away. You had to work your way there. What kept you pushing through some of that adversity? Because you had an opportunity to quit and say, I'm going to go do something else.
Yeah, man, I just remember, I went to junior college in Kansas, and, me coming from Miami, I ain't know nothing about Kansas. Fortunately, I knew somebody who was coaching who's from the area, and they invited me up to, do a season there or whatever, and it didn't work out. The first day it didn't work out. I wanted to quit. I wanted to come back home. I wanted to try a different profession. I'm like, man, football ain't for me no more. And then, calling back home, hearing my mom, I'm like, man, I need a plane ticket. I need to come home. And then she telling me, I'm sorry, baby, I can't afford a plane ticket, so you got to stay up there and work it out. So when she told me that, I'm like, dang, my mama can't afford a plane ticket for me to come up here. So I'm like, okay, I got a motivation now. You know, she's my motivation. I'm gonna make sure she don't have to worry about nothing like that no more. And you know, that was my drive ever since. Like I just put my head down, I worked my butt off, and you know, I was behind when I got there, and you know, I ended up starting for doing like 'cause I missed all the spring or whatever, and I ended up starting like the first game of the season, and went from there. So that's just been my motivation, man, ever since.
Guenther, you talking about drive. Are you a good driver?
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're known as a fearless leader on the field.
Right.
But these guys are doing well over 200 miles an hour bending corners. How would you fare out there if you were a driver?
It'd be a lot of fear in that for me. You know, that's crazy. You know, I'm always like, this is my first time here. And I remember I went to Daytona 500, but I didn't know much about it. I wasn't, you know, well educated. But now I'm here. You know, I got a chance to like, you know, see a lot of things, and I did my own research about it and stuff like that. And it just fascinated me how the whole process goes and all this stuff.
Right.
And you know, I like getting information, you know, before I actually, you know, go and do things and stuff like that. So for me to like see what they do and everything that it takes for them to, you know, get to that high level speed and be able to, you know, maintain it while making those turns and stuff like that, it's incredible. You know what I'm saying? Like, these guys are athletes, you know what I'm saying? So it's really incredible to see stuff like that.
But even more so, we had Lando Norris, who won the sprint race today.
Right, yeah.
We had him on the show Friday.
Right.
And he spoke about not really having an off season.
Yeah.
You say they're an athlete, and we have to really go through a fierce off season.
Right.
Which you're doing right now in order to prepare and build that repetition, build that callus.
Yeah.
They just get out there and they have to go and be ready to go.
Right.
Like, would you be able to do that in your sport, in football, not really having an off season, but still have to get out there and perform at an elite level?
I think that's a testament to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to build up. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to build up. We could prepare our bodies to, you know, take on a 16, 17 game season. But those guys, they constantly in it, so they got to stay in it.
Right.
So their mindset is a different type of mindset. You know what I'm saying? I feel like for them, they never stop thinking about racing. You know what I'm saying? They never stop thinking about their strategy or what they got to do. But us, we got a chance to, you know, have a little downtime, get our mind off football and stuff like that. I mean, it's definitely an advantage, though. But for them, that's more of a testament to them because, you know, they got to keep on going through it.
And tell you, Ryan threw me under the bus, so I'm going to throw you under the bus here for a second. Because you don't won a Super Bowl, you done been in the best football games ever, what you've done. Bro, is this F1 stuff different, better, elevated than football game? Because my thing was that football games 4-5 hours max. This is 4 days of people that love this thing. As you just got into it, how would you describe F1 to somebody that's never been here?
It's different than a football game, I'll tell you that. Different type of crowd, for sure. But, you know, a different type of experience for certain people. You know what I'm saying? Like, a football game is only one day, but for people to pack this place out 3 days in a row, you know, it just goes to show that, you know, how important this sport is to certain people. You know, and you man, like, you got a different type of fan base. You know, everybody, you know, you got different type of passions and stuff like that. With football, some people love players, some people love the game too as well. But with this, you know, I feel like a lot of people love the drivers more than the actual sport.
Yeah, so, you know, you're talking about this compared to football.
Yeah.
Both you and I have been in the Super Bowl.
Right.
We're the only people on this stage that can say that.
Right.
Not everybody sitting up here can actually say they played in a Super Bowl, Levante. Only you and I. So let's cut the stage off here and then outside of you. And nothing's wrong with that, guys. These are great people. I love doing the show with them. But no, I do say that your goals change as you ascend in your career, right? I remember when I was young, I wanted to become a starter. After becoming a starter, a Pro Bowl, I wanted to win a Super Bowl. I wanted to be a team captain. You've done all of those things. What is that thing that continues to get you out of bed every morning to put in the work to get to game day?
Yeah, I think go back, man. I feel like, you know, my first 8 years in Tampa, you know, we all know how that went. You know, it was very, you know, depressing, you know, I would say. You know, a lot of losing, not a lot of notoriety. And, you know, all that changed when Big Man came to town, when Tom came, and we was able to win the Super Bowl and all that. And then I just think, like, the way that, you know, the younger guys looked at me ever since, just, like, seeing me go and endure all that and then just see me prevail, you know, like, past 5 years I've been in the playoffs after not making the playoffs first 8 years. and then getting the notoriety out of him and then the young guys coming up and, man, just, coming to me and just gravitating to me and me putting them under my wing. I think that gives me a sense of, like, pride as a man. I'm like, I got these young boys, they looking up to me, so I got to come with it every day. You know what I'm saying? I got to come, with the right mindset. I can't have no off days. I got these guys looking up to me. Like, I come out there with an off day, a lot of guys be like, man, look at this, our leader. You know what I'm saying? We can't, we can't have you like that. You know what I'm saying? So, and the good thing is I got a great group of young guys who kind of like when they do see me down, they'll do something to try to like pick me up to get me going and that made me feel like, okay, I got something to come back to. You know what I'm saying?
You mentioned like Tom being there and that changing not only the trajectory of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers organization, but it changed your career in many ways. What were some of the things you learned while Tom Brady was in Tampa that you've kept and continue to keep in mind as you've moved forward, becoming the main leader on this team?
I would say never having a down day. He always came in the building with great energy, speaking to everybody. His preparation was close. I mean, like the best preparation I've seen in a very long time. And then for him to be like Tom Brady, and then like you going against him, competing against him in practice, you want to kind of like be timid a little bit, but he'll curse you out if you are. You know what I'm saying? He want your best when you out there in practice. So like that made everybody else around him better. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like the way his mindset was, it elevated everybody else around him. And then I feel like a lot of that stuff I kind of like took from like just the way he carried himself, how kind he was to people around him, how he treated everybody equal. You know what I'm saying? Like he was no different than everybody else in the locker room. I just remember the first time he reached out to me, he was just like, man, I'm glad to come on your team. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad to be a part of your team, and I'm ready to take it to the next level. But remember this, man, don't treat me no different than you treat anybody else. I'm coming into you guys' locker room, so I want you guys to show me the way. And when he said that, I thought that was incredible.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
Love that.
And really quick, since we're talking about quarterbacks, the addition of Baker Mayfield, you're known as the defensive leader. Baker, obviously the leader on the other side. Can you speak to how Baker has helped keep you guys competitive and how he is in the locker room?
Man, I love Baker, man. Outside looking in, when you used to hear all the stuff about him, you always thought he was a little prima donna, a little prick. Yeah, a little knucklehead and stuff like that. But when you actually meet him, he's not like that at all. He's just a guy who loves the game of football. He's very passionate about it. And you can see the way he play, you know what I'm saying? And when he's out there in the games, man, there's been times where, like, we see him, like, scramble, make a play, break a few guys, and, like, it lifts everybody up. You know what I'm saying? And not a lot of people do that. You know what I'm saying? And for him to be doing stuff like that, just battling, playing through injuries, competing, and just wanting to be the best, it's incredible to see. And he's a different type of leader, I tell you that. He's not a rah-rah guy. Bake don't talk at all. All he does is show it on the field with his passion and the way he loves the game.
How you feel when Bake ran over Bobby Wagner?
I felt good about it, honestly. It's my teammate doing it. But, me and Bobby got a real close relationship, man. I ain't bring it up to him or nothing. I'm going to let it, simmer down a little bit before I bring it up to him. But, Bobby's my guy. I can't mess with him much. But I definitely was big cheesing on the sideline with that.
And tell you, I got to ask you about Mike Evans, week 18.
Yeah.
When on the sideline, what was it like when y'all know this man is about to tie a Jerry Rice record, but there's no reason to throw him the ball again?
I think, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. I think we needed to win that game, right, to make the playoffs. But at the same time, it was a feeling like, man, we don't care about that. We want Mike to get the 1,000 yards. We want Mike to get the 1,000 because that's how much we care about Mike. You know what I'm saying? Mike is a real G, man. Mike is a genuine guy. Mike, a lot of stuff that he do behind the scenes, man, like he don't want no credit for it. Like he's a real, great guy. You know what I'm saying? And for me to like watch him come in 2014, the way he grown as a person, as a man, as a father, was it just incredible to see. And then like, so when they threw the touchdown to Bucky when we went ahead, like if you would see a clip, nobody was happy.
Bucky, get your ass down.
Yeah, nobody was happy. Nobody was happy. And so when we scored, the only person who was happy was Bucky because he scored a touchdown. And everybody like just looking on the sideline, we were like, man, damn, man, that's gonna be messed up for Mike. I said like, everybody like at defense was like, man, we gotta get the ball back. You know what I'm saying, for Mike, get his chance. And everybody like huddled up like, man, we gotta do this. And then we happened. And then like, everybody watching the sideline. they got the coverage that they wanted. It was like, okay, I'm talking to, Kyle. I'm like, what this is? Y'all finna get the mic? He was like, yeah, if we give them man coverage, the mic is wide open. And it happened. And then you seen the reaction everybody had. Like, I don't even think we cared that we won the game. We were just happy that, he got his 1,000 yards. Mike got 1,000 yards, took his helmet off and went in the locker room. So, he got what he was supposed to do.
Now, Levante, we know this now. Mike don't have no relationship like he got with the Saints.
Yeah.
And I know Marshawn, Marshawn wasn't there, but I'm going to ask you, if you're playing against a team and they got a Mike Evans and he need a catch to get 1,000 yards, you going to let him get it on you?
No, he not getting it. He not getting it. That's just a pride thing. You know what I'm saying? He not getting it. I don't know what they was thinking, though. But it was for a fact we was going to get Mike the ball. You line up in a shotgun formation, you know they finna throw this man the ball.
Right.
I probably would have left my position and just try to stop him getting the ball, you know. So I don't want nobody to get no record on me. Right. But, it is what it is. I'm happy that it happened, though, man. Kind of got a sense that they knew it was going to happen to him. They let it happen to as well. So, kudos to them for doing that. But it is what it is.
Now, I already said if I'm the D coordinator, I was going to double him.
Yeah.
I'm going to double him.
Yeah.
We're going to press him. You're going to have to take a knee or throw it to somebody else.
Yeah.
Mike Evans is not getting this ball. But for you, going into this year, like as much as you're continuing to play because as an individual you feel like you're playing at a high level, I know you want to win.
Yes.
You've been to the pinnacle. You've seen the highest of the highs. What makes you confident that this year's Tampa Bay Buccaneers can compete to win a championship?
I think because we ended the season on a nasty note. I feel like we lost a game that we should have won, and I don't feel like they beat us. I feel like we gave them the game. They won. We gave them opportunities to win the game, and they took advantage of it. They scored twice on 4th and long. They got the fumble down in the red zone and stuff like that. So I feel like we gave them the game, and we was very disappointed in that. I'm not gonna lie, we was very disappointed because we felt like we could have ran the table. You know what I'm saying? To be honest, we could have ran the table, and for us to have the majority of our team back, the key pieces back, we feel like we could do it again. And we added a couple pieces. I feel like we had a good draft, and feel like we could go far to where we want to go this season.
I do have a question. You guys played Jaden Daniels to start the season and to finish the season.
Yeah.
How much growth or how much different was he in that playoff game compared to that first game of the season?
Big difference. Confidence out the roof. I know the first game, it was a lot of throws that I feel like he could have made, but he didn't make the throws. He wasn't confident in himself. I got a good relationship with Jaden, so I talked to him and I know. And then as the season went on, you saw him progressing. He making the throws, making the NFL-type throws that you expected to see. And then you saw when they was going for it on 4th down all the time. So, that's a testament to him of how much confidence they got in him and how much confidence he got in himself. Ain't no telling if he going to the coaches saying, hey, we going to go for it on 4th down. They just trusted him and believing in him. Yeah. But it was definitely a big difference from first game to the last game. So, we just got to up your play against them now.
Hey, as a Miami boy, we're here in Miami.
Yeah.
As a Northwestern alum.
Yeah.
Talk about Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah.
Bringing back the championship back to the crib.
I love it, man. I love it for sure. Round of applause for that, man. I love it, man. It's something that Teddy always wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? You knew he had it in him. When he was a freshman, I was a senior there, and I just seen his drive and see how he wanted to be. And then watched his process throughout. You just knew he had coach written all over. You know what I'm saying? And for him to make that happen for us, it's incredible. I actually went out there a couple of days ago to watch the practice, the first spring practice, and the way he's running it is like an NFL type style.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They having basically OTAs right now.
That's
you know what I'm saying? So he's doing big things, man. And the expectation for Northwestern now is winning national championships, not state championships. That's how big of expectations we got.
I love that.
And tell you, my last one with like you talking about with Teddy and OG. You old now. I don't know if you old because I don't know if you got just he got just for men in that beard. I don't know if you got any grades, brother. But bringing those young guys up, talking about the draft picks, talking about you bringing those guys up 13 and 14 and over a decade in the league.
Right.
Those young guys, what advice can you give to them and what's the difference? Because I be getting on them about, bro, get off your damn phone.
Yeah.
But you have to understand them kids gonna play on their phones. Being an OG, talking to young dudes, talking to, I see some athletes out there right now. What advice do you give to those young players?
Yeah, man, for me personally, my thing is just as a leader, I just want to build a one-on-one relationship with certain persons, certain guys, right? Just to feel them out, see how they are, and how I communicate to them. Like you said, man, these young kids different nowadays, man. A lot of times, constructive criticism could be taken as an insult a lot. You know what I'm saying? So, well, my thing is I had to navigate through that, learn how to talk to people a certain type of way, and then like if it do comes to where like I have to raise my voice at you, I have to, you know, come out of pocket sometimes, you know, as a leader that happens, and they take it. You know what I'm saying? They know I don't mean no harm by it. You know what I'm saying? All I want to do is just try to get you better. But at the same time, man, if you got a craft, you know, just continue to work on your craft. Continue to better yourself at your craft. You know, perfect that craft and then work everything else around it. You know, I was just in Nebraska a couple of days ago, and I talked to the linebackers, and I would tell them, like, you know, as a linebacker, my key thing is instincts. You know what I'm saying? You know, I feel like a linebacker should have instincts. If you got instincts, that could take you a long way, and everything else, once you build everything around it, you'll become one of the best.
Yeah, man, first of all, thank you for joining us.
Sure.
It's been amazing. I love what you said, though. Once you build a relationship, if you do have to come out of pocket as a leader, they know you're doing it because you care. Right? You're not just one of these cats that want to degrade and want to demean and want to talk down to them.
Right.
You want them to be the best they could possibly be, man. And you've been one of the best in the league for 14 years now, or going on 14 years, man. We appreciate you.
Yeah, no
best
problem.
of luck this season, my
Appreciate
dog. Thank you for coming out,
for
bro.
sure, definitely.
For sure.
Always love.
All love, baby.
Give it up for
We gotta take a
Levante
picture.
David.
Miami should have got Levante David. You guys would be better. Instead, they drafted linebackers like you.
You got to know when you get old. You said
shoot.
you got your hamstrings, got his hamstrings?
No, I'm done. I can't do nothing.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say, yeah, look at his thigh.
Yeah, I can't play. I can't play no ball.
Racehorse.
That's what a real football player looked like.
Well, first off, I saw pictures of Channing when he played. Chan had a football neck. He had traps.
I had muscles.
He had like 2 abs. My dog ain't always look like this.
4 abs.
He had basketball knees forever.
Listen, man,
He do walk like Kenny Smith.
I used to grab them boys out there. Right there on that field, I used to grab people.
Channing, how many surgeries have you had on your knees?
17. 17 knee surgeries, 4 ACLs, 2 microfractures, menisciotomies, all kind of stuff on my knees.
I don't think menisciotomy is an actual word.
Is any doctors out there?
Any doctors is
Because I know
menisciotomy.
you're not one. Menisciotomy is when they take meniscus out of your knees.
Okay, so what are you looking forward to tomorrow? You watch Lando Norris win the sprint today. You're the big F1 guy. You love it here in Miami. You want to go to Barcelona and all of these different places.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to tomorrow?
It's the I think I don't know if I'm surface level F1 because I just started, but it's what we saw in the sprint race.
Yeah.
It's like that end of it, that three laps left, and a half a second back here, and then it was Lewis. It was both McLaren guys, and it was those names and then you want to see the young guys coming up.
Yeah.
Who's the guy, the 18-year-old that I just saw got no facial hair? He's raising somebody. I want to see him win. Like there's names and there's storylines. And that's what I'm looking for is those names and storylines, but also the building of the sport, the guys we know, the guys we've talked to, different type people. So I'm looking for, when it's getting down to the last couple laps, I want winner minus 0.6, minus 0.8, minus 0.9, minus 0.10.
Right, you want everything to be tight.
I want everybody to be piled up.
You want it to be like the 100-meter Olympic final.
I want them to be piled up in the front, and y'all got 3 laps to show out.
How about you, Freddie?
Just building off earlier, the question we asked Guenther here was the drivers saying that themselves, they're their biggest rivals. Tomorrow, they're going to have to make an adjustment with the weather. What's going to be their pivot? How are they going to respond to it all? So you talking about the McLaren drivers, like they have 2 of the top drivers in the entire sport. So how are they going to be competitive, going against each other? And I've never owned a McLaren, but I have owned a Ferrari, and I just love the way it drives. So I'll be rooting for Lewis Hamilton.
Well,
you guys can root for whoever you want.
Guys,
I'm just saying what I'm going to do.
Well, guys, I'm going to be honest. I drive a 2015 Toyota Tundra that has a wrecked bumper, and I'm not finna get a Ferrari. I ain't finna get none of that.
Freddie,
but
you had a Ferrari?
Once upon a time. But
Jesus
I
Christ.
spent out trying to show out. I couldn't handle it.
And then you had to get out.
And I had to get out and get rid of it. I saved my life.
Well, guys, what I'm looking forward to is Lando Norris winning the entire Miami Grand Prix the same way he did last year.
Back to back.
I will say this. I would like to say that it's not selfish, but it is, because I want the person that did our show to win it all, so in Austin, we can get another driver and they work with us as well. Thank you guys for sitting through the show. We really appreciate you guys. Appreciate you pivoting with us.
Limitless, take a stomach, can't pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up. On the mission, got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Limitless, take a stomach, can't pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up.